Hi. I'm Kim, and this is Paula, and we're both from Docha Psychological Services. And just before we get started, I need to clarify that this video is for educational purposes only, and it does not constitute a replacement for a therapeutic relationship. We're just trying to share some information that might be helpful to you. And today we're going to be talking about enmeshment, which is a challenging topic. Paula and I have been trying to figure out exactly what it means and how do we best convey it. So this video should be pretty interesting. So we figured we'll talk about, are we doing the examples, the list of examples first, or are we just going to do a mock thing first?
Maybe we could demonstrate what enmeshment would look like,
Okay.
or could look like, and then we could maybe talk about how to recognize when you are potentially in an enmeshed conversation or relationship.
Awesome.
There's boundaries being overstepped.
Okay, and then let's maybe give them a list at the end of these are all examples of enmeshment from the sheet that you were reading,
Yeah.
or the thing on your phone.
Okay.
Okay. We're professionals. All right. So I'm going to be a mother, and Paula is going to be my child. And this is an example of what enmeshment could look like. Oh, you won't believe the argument your dad and I had last night. It was absolutely horrible. He was saying all sorts of mean things to me. He was even bringing up, like, before we were even married and how we were fighting about our sex life and like there was this affair. Did you know about the affair?
No, Mom, I didn't know that.
Well, you should know about this because it's been really hard for me to get over that, and I think, you should really know what's going on in the family. So I don't know if you can see Paula's face, but I'm going to let Paula take it from here because she's going to communicate how she would feel if she was the child in this situation.
So naturally, as the daughter, as I'm listening to Mom speak, I want to very much almost side with her and think like, oh yeah, how could he do that? But there's a part of me that feeling very uncomfortable with when Mom starts talking about sex life or like premarital engagements that just don't feel right. So as a child, knowing that was something
this is slim.
Something that stood out to me is it just didn't feel right. Even if you consider just like the parental dyad, like it's not really that. I think the conversation of what Mom and Dad have going on is not the concern of the child. I think that would be an example of how enmeshed and crossing a boundary and how that could be an enmeshed relationship.
Yeah, like adult issues need to stay adult issues, and that especially if there is a relationship, a really important relationship between child and other parent, you don't want to be damaging that. And I mean, we did the role play of mom and daughter because that is something that we do sometimes see in practice, but it can happen in any dynamic. It could be daughter and dad, or son and mom and son and dad, and like all sorts of things. And that's where we get into family therapy, but enmeshment can occur in any kind of relationship. So
another thing from the child's perspective, I was feeling really called to want to help you, like to save you, to almost, let me carry some of that emotional brunt from you, and like, but that's not my place. It's not, that's something that Mom, I could be a support by saying, that sounds like, that was really hard for you, but maybe talk to Dad about that, or
but I think that's an excellent point, Paula, is that's one way that you can tell if you are in what could potentially be an enmeshed relationship, is that on the one hand you feel called to help, like I want to help this person, I care deeply about this person, and then on the other hand you're like, ugh, ick. Like for me, I often feel like torn. It's just this feeling of being pulled in two different directions and not knowing what to do in that situation. For me, I often just kind of shut down and just let the person keep talking, even though inside I'm starting to feel nauseous, or like I want to push. A lot of times I'll get a pushing feeling in my shoulders, like I want to push someone away, or I want to clap. Like I think you at one point actually put your hands over your ears, like stop, I don't want to hear that. So it really is, I think enmeshment really is that push-pull inside of yourself.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
And I would say I think for me, recognizing kind of what that visceral feeling feels like, so, you know, that gut feeling, and just kind of like that cringy, like, oh, like you want to be there, but like, you actually don't.
Yeah.
So that's
like I saw you lean in first, but then her nose was also wrinkled. Like, I think the video might show. I don't know. I felt like this sense of you doing this, but also your face just being like, no, I don't. I don't. Like it's just this weird.
Yeah, and I think something to be noted is it wasn't just when you said sex. I think for me, as soon as you started saying your dad and I, something in my mind went off of like, should I be knowing this? Like, why is it important for me to know this information? Yeah. How is this gonna, serve me in any way? And what's that gonna look like for my relationship with dad? So those are the things that I question as a child, as your child right now.
Yeah. But that's as an older child too. Like imagine what that's like for younger kids who don't necessarily know to question that. Because that's just how it's always been, right? And then as kids that grow up in that kind of situation, I almost wonder what their adult relationships are like. You know?
Enmeshed.
Boom. It's complicated, and that's why we might be doing more than one video in this. But you found a list, right, of examples? I think there was a list on my phone too. So go ahead and read yours if you have.
Some of the characteristics of enmeshment in families: lack of boundaries, children not encouraged to individuate and become emotionally independent, intrusive or needy quality, oversharing. This was an excellent
oversharing.
Example of oversharing.
And TMI.
Demands to know all about your life. I think there needs to be a distinction there with, sharing and knowing the limits with how much. So in that situation, you telling me, your dad and I had some problems before
we were even married,
is like, I think that's a limit. Going into the details of that is, I think I would say unnecessary. You're expected to conform to family norms and traditions. Self-expression is stifled. And then parents may treat children as friends or confidants.
Yeah. So I have one here that is kind of more about not just parents and kids, but also in romantic relationships. So it says, an unhealthy emotional attachment to a loved one that seems out of your control. Shared emotions, when it feels like you have a hard time telling what is your emotion and what is your partner's emotion. I did that backwards, but whatever. I don't understand that one. A really hard time having engaged relationships with others outside of your immediate family. An unclear identity or sense of self outside of the family setting or outside of the partner relationship, like you just don't know who you are. A lack of alone time and space while at home, that would drive me mental. Or while spending time with family, you don't have that alone time. Relational boundaries with family members feel unstable. The desire to be rescued from difficult emotions. So it's like that dodging, I don't want to feel bad, so I'm just going to take care of what I need to take care of. Or the expectation that you will rescue your loved one from their challenging emotions so you don't let them feel mad or sad or whatever. Guilt, shame, and anxiety that comes from meeting your personal needs in place of providing emotional support to your partner or family member. So that's where people learn to just never consider themselves in the decisions that they're making. That's crazy. Intense fear of conflict and abandonment. An inability to or great difficulty in setting boundaries that are healthy, and the inability to feel up when your loved one is feeling down, or feeling that your emotional state is always governed by those with whom you've had a close personal relationship. And then it goes on to list specifically with parents and kids and what causes enmeshment. So I'm just going to read off this website if I can find it. It says Regain, REGAIN.US. So REGAIN.US /advice
One more time.
slash
R-E. Sorry.
REGAIN
Oh, dot. Okay.
dot US slash advice slash general. And that will bring you to the Enmeshed family. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, we're still on. My screen went dark, so I thought we lost you. But it's the article, The Enmeshed Family, 14 Signs of Enmeshment and How to Overcome Difficult Relationship Dynamics by Kelly Spears. Oh, updated March 29th, 2022.
That was
That
2
was
weeks
just,
ago.
yeah,
2 weeks ago,
sweet. So it's really recent. So yeah, so we don't know. We've got a list. This is our planning sheet. It's a mess. But we've got a list of a whole bunch of things that might be covered by enmeshment.
Yeah.
So
We hope this was helpful, informative in some way.
yeah, so if you're looking for, help with this kind of thing, we would love to help you out. Paula's been doing a lot of work with couples and individuals, and she's amazing. So I'm very happy to be able to do this video with her. But yeah, again, if you have any questions at all, just let us know. We'd love to help you out if we can. Okay, so
Thank you.
okay, Slim, do you want to say bye?
Come say hi.
Come
Come say bye. Go see.
Come on. Oh, Slim's leaving.
She's going to say hello.
All right. Okay.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.